people was like, oh, so your girl back to dating girls now, huh? So she back into girls now. So I think that's a big misconception about like bisexuals, is that like it's either one or the other. Like just because one is turned on don't mean the other is turned off, right? It's who you're attracted to. I like what I like, you know what I'm saying? And it's really more characteristic traits than gender, right? For me, it's like it's the characteristics, but at the same time, like when I'm with someone, I'm loyal, right? Like
what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Queerly Blax Show. I'm your host, Ashley, and I'm so happy you came by. The Queerly Blax Show aims to normalize the everyday existence of Black, LGBTQIA+ individuals through an interview-style series with regular folks like you and me. So every week, a new guest shares their story and unique perspective on their existence as an LGBTQIA+ individual. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe, download, set your reminders to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Queerly Blax Show. I'm your host, Ashley. I'm joined today by a special guest. We got B in the building.
What's up?
B, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, as you said, I go by B. I currently am here in Arizona, by way of Chicago, from Chicago,
Chi-town.
I actually just moved to Phoenix about 2 years ago from LA. So I was in LA for about 7 years. So now I'm here, and yeah, man, I'm happy to be here on the show. Thank you for having me. This is
what part of Arizona you in?
I'm in Mesa. Mesa, Arizona. So it's like 25 minutes away from Scottsdale, Phoenix. Mm-hmm. You know, okay. I'm in the burbs, you know, raising the family, trying to raise the family.
Yeah, gotta, you know, look, I got a little one. Me and my wife just had a son. He's 4 months old. So, you know, I understand.
Boy, mom, stand up.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's 4 months. Crazy little dude. I love it though. Parenthood is the best.
It just keeps getting better.
For sure. So cool, man. So, you know, we're going to jump into your business a little bit. We're going to get in your business, B.
Buckle up.
When was the first time you knew, so, you know, the B has a double meaning. You know what I'm saying? You know, so the LGB, you know what I mean?
B-E-E,
bisexual,
not just B.
Not just B. B-E-E, B-I-S, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Same thing.
When was the first time you knew that you liked girls?
Honestly, it was when I was about 9 years old, to be honest. Is when I first started to like have feelings, just like strong feelings for like my best friend at the time. But I didn't have, like, to be honest, like my first actual relationship was with a girl. A lot of people don't know that. It was with a girl. And that relationship lasted about a year when it ended. But yeah, that was my first real relationship. And I came out when I was 15 to my parents, to my mom, actually, first. And my mom was, you know, coming up, you know, from a religious background, and, you know, that whole situation. She was apprehensive at first, but she told my dad, and then my dad had to talk with me. And my dad was like, hey, look, like, whatever you decide to do, that's on you. You know, I love you either way. You're an amazing kid, you know, whoever you love. So he was right away just like, I don't care about none of that.
Yeah. You know, so coming out, did you come out as bisexual, or did you come out as, like, I don't know, you know, lesbian? How was that for you? Because sometimes you know, with bisexual and other labels too, honestly, you know, it kind of starts as like maybe one thing, and then it's like, okay, actually, is this? So was it bisexual? Did you identify yourself as that?
Yeah. Because I didn't really start dating till later in life. I really, you know, it just, as
you say later in life, like you 60.
Well, I know, right? No, I don't mean like that. Let me give you context to that, because I started dating like later than the girls around me when they were dating at the time. So I was really into sports and I was really into academics. I really wasn't into like, I had a lot of guy friends. And so I think very early on, like my mom knew that she knew something was like, because I had a lot of guy friends and I grew up like a tomboy, complete tomboy. So I was running, I had two older brothers that I was with all the time. And I was like their third little bro, you know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to do everything they wanted to do. I got dirty with them. I did everything. And so my mom kind of knew that, she's not really, taking really, closely to like the boys that were showing interest and stuff like that. So, but from there, it was like, I know that I have interest in guys, but I also like her too. So then it became like, well, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are these feelings? Because I'm still young. You know what I'm saying? You're not really into your sexuality at that time. You don't really know, and at the time it was very different. And you don't have like so much access to like internet and social media and stuff like that. You were learning about yourself through just your own experiences and, what you felt and like what your parents knew and what your friends and peers knew, so you didn't really.
You couldn't put like meaning to it because you couldn't be like, I feel this, and then like Google tells you, oh yeah, well that's this and this, and you're like, nah, it's just like I just like her and I like him, and I don't know what that means, but that's just what it is.
Exactly, and that's what it was. And so I've been fortunate enough to really come from, a very, very supportive family. Like I have never really felt like this was wrong, or I never really felt like. So when I hear stories about people who have had to hide and like not really be able to, my heart goes out because that wasn't my experience. I came just from, my mom kind of was apprehensive at first, but then she just knew that I was a good kid and I was a good person. And that if I felt this way, because I was expressive about life in general, everything that I liked, everything that I wanted, like I dove into. I was very like, very just self-driven. I was very just determined as a kid. I did really well in school. You know what I'm saying? So this part of it was just like, I think her apprehension just came from just like, oh, I didn't know. Like, oh, okay, well, or maybe she did know and now I confirmed it. You know what I'm saying? So, but right away I felt accepted. My parents and my family never, when I did have a girlfriend, they never made them feel outcast or weird or anything. It's just always been like, oh, well, she love you, then we love you. You know what I'm saying? So they've been very welcoming. So I've been fortunate enough to really have that experience. So yeah, but yeah, my first relationship was with a girl. And I had, people around me, like, I had a really crazy situation at that time because I had a best friend at that time, who best then friends. Yeah, I had a best friend at that time who started acting funny. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what's happening?
What's up?
So then she just became real distant. And then, we didn't talk for a few months. And then I get a letter from her. Just when we was writing letters, that's how you know. We wasn't calling and texting. You know what I'm saying? We was writing letters.
Yeah.
And she wrote me a 4-page letter. Shout out to,
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, right? She wrote me a 4-page letter, really just confessing that she didn't know how to express her feelings, and she was very confused about her feelings toward me. And so I've gone through a lot when it comes, you know what I'm saying? So just like coming out and like in terms of freeing other people, right? Because then when that came out that I had a girlfriend, and I played on like numerous basketball teams, and I was on travel teams and like state teams and stuff like that. And like, so I had a lot of girls that were around me that were under, kind of younger than me. And they then were, and people will say this too, if you grew up with me, you notice that a lot of times, like, I mean, at that time when I came out, like a lot of, it freed a lot of girls that are around me, like, cause they were like, whew, okay, if somebody else who is doing well, who is beautiful, who is like, confident about who she is, and it's not really questioning what's happening, like she can do it, then we can do it. And so at that time, it was a lot of girls that would come to me under just kind of like just, had to ask me a lot of questions about like, what did your parents think? Like, you came out. And so I'd be braiding the girls' hair on the basketball team before the game, and they'd be like, man, so B, man, I've been meaning to ask you, man, like, did your people tweak out when you told them? And I was like, nah, it is what it is. But even if they do, it's like, I'd rather that now than to be living in a jail cell inside in my mind and in my heart. And so I've always just felt like that.
No, that's dope. And so then what, so dated women and men. So kind of like, what was your journey of dating, both? And then talk about in there how you kind of navigated, because I imagine people would ask, oh, so you got a boyfriend now? Oh, you got a girlfriend now? How you navigate kind of the people around you too?
You know what? That's a great question. And I think that's really funny that, and I get this, I just recently got this actually. One of my friends, told me that without saying too much, told me that one of his people was like, oh, so your girl back to dating girls now, huh? So she back into girls now. So I think that's a big misconception about like bisexuals, is that like it's either one or the other. Like just because one is turned on don't mean the other is turned off, right? It's who you're attracted to. I like what I like, you know what I'm saying? And it's really more characteristic traits than gender, right? For me, it's like it's the characteristics. But at the same time, like when I'm with someone, I'm loyal, right? Like it doesn't matter if I'm with a guy and I see a girl walk past or whatever, like I'm gonna tell my guy, like, hey, she fine, right? She cute. Same thing, other way around. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just work within the boundaries of your relationship. It's not really like one thing turns off and the other. And I think that's a big misconception. That's like, well, she's back into dating guys, so then she must like all guys now, or she must be attracted to all guys. And it's not that way. So my journey went from, I started dating, a woman, that ended, and I wasn't really into the dating scene. I wasn't like that. That just became because that we had a friendship that built up into the relationship. So we loved on each other for a while. We're still to this day friends. Shout out to you, you know who you are. To this day, we're still friends. And that was many moons ago. So that happened. And then I went into, back into, not back into, but then I dated a male. And then it's just been kind of even, really, if you think about it, like I haven't really had like more than one than the other. Like I'm interested in what I'm interested at the time and the point in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
but it's there's no though. Like it's the ladies though. I'm just no. I just have to shout out to the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks. I ain't gonna lie. What's crazy is that all the time I get like, even when I'm talking to women, I get like this sense of fear. And I think one of the things that people think that with bisexual women or men that we're confused, and it's like, it's not that we're confused. I'll speak for myself. There's some people that might be, confused and they need to figure some things out. But for me, where I'm at, and I have been in my life, is that I've never really been confused about who I love or who I like or what I'm attracted to. That's been clear to me, obviously, from a very young age. But, the misconception is that we're confused because we'll go from one to the next. And it's not, it's I'm attracted, like I said, to a certain characteristic, like group of characteristics, right?
But
like,
you just don't minimize it to a certain
it's not
gender.
Assigned to a certain gender. It's just if a woman is confident, if she's powerful in her own right, if she's strong, that's what I'm attracted to, right? I like a dominant woman, right? Like I like to that's what and if those traits are in a man,
cool,
then and we cross paths and we have that connection. If that connection is there, then I'm a ride that connection. It doesn't mean like I'm so in my head to think, well, this is a man or this is a woman. Like, no, it's like you're around that good energy. That's what I'm attracted to. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than gender for me.
Yeah.
So that's a common misconception that I hear all the time. Like, oh, she back to dating women, huh? It's like,
I think one of the things I've learned or kind of have expanded myself, because I say what I just did an episode and I was like, look, I'm just a vanilla lesbian. Like I played basketball. I was a tomboy and I like girls. That's it. I ain't know nothing about the rest of it. I
like that.
That's it. Where the ladies at and we good. Like that's it, right?
Right.
But there's this, all the other aspects, right? So like with bisexuality, I think I've had a conversation where I think people have a fear that like, okay, if you like both genders, then there will be a point in time where you'll desire something that I can't fulfill because I'm not a man, right? And so I think that that's like the mindset is that like you'll wake up one day and you'll be like, well, like, but actually, like, I just need like a beard. Like, I just need that smell. You know what I mean? Like, I just need that. Like, I can't
provide
that as a woman. There's nothing that I can do. If you just need some pipe, like, okay, we can figure that out. We got you. We good. If you, you know, there's certain things that I can, you know, help you with. But like, if you're just like, I just need the essence of a man, got nothing for you for that. Like, I can never give you that, you know. But I think that in expanding my thought process, even if you're a lesbian or whatever, there might be something that you can't fulfill even as a woman, right?
100%.
So like,
I was just gonna say that.
There might be something that as a
it
woman
might just not be in you.
This might, right? Like, you just might not have whatever. And I think that's where we get into fulfillment and like what that level is, and like, okay, are you going to always get everything, or is there a place where you got to get to that says like, I got most of what I need? I got, you know what I'm saying? This is where we get into
because there's not going to be one
compromise
person, gender,
and this and that and like all these other things, and you got to figure out what can you live with, what can you not, and it can change over time, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like today we got married or today we're together and like I can't evolve, but I got to be open with you about it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's kind of been my like own personal walk with understanding bisexuality.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that perspective because just to put that out there, like some of my most intimate and the best sex I've ever had is with a woman, and that's no slight to that. Shout out to y'all, but like it has been with a woman, and she knows who she is, right? Some of my most passionate, deepest, most, you know, intimate moments have been with a woman. So that part,
shout out
you
to
know
the
what
ladies.
I'm saying? Right. Shout out to the ladies, right? And I say that proudly. And if anyone ever comes my way, you know what I'm saying, with how they or they want to ask questions about it. And I've had ex like boyfriends who have asked like, so what is it about a woman, or what is it, you know what I'm saying? I think that, and I don't want to, just for lack of better words, that insecurity.
What is it about it? Well, let's stop right there and talk about it, because obviously, you know, having the unique experience of being with both, what is, because you already identified that the best sex was with a woman. So we're good here. Mm-hmm. We're clear. Talk about the differences. Cause I do think that that's important too for people to understand, like for not that I think guys or either women should feel like they have to compete with one another, right? Because it's different, but they do want to understand, like, well, what is it, like, why, you know, like when people find themselves with like the husband left them for a man or the wife left them for a woman, they like, well, what is it about her, what is it about him, like what is it? Let's talk about it.
So for me personally, it was the attention to me. It was the attention to my body. It was the intention to please. And then acting on that, right? So she learned my body, like completely. She learned everything, every twitch, every tremor, every movement. She learned it and then repeatedly, right? And so, and then evolved and grew on that experience. And then she was willing to do what I needed her to do. Like, she was willing to fulfill fantasies. She was willing to do things that I suggested that we do, and expounded on that on her own. You know what I'm saying? So she was really intimate and into the experience, which there was already love, right? There was already attraction. Those things were already present, but she was just more willing to get and go there for me. And so, and it was an open forum almost. It was like, well, do you like this? And if you don't, then what, let's do this. And so there was all the you know, the awkwardness went out the window. There was no weirdness. There was no like, I wonder what she's or he's thinking or what they're, you know, it was like I can make the ugly faces, the ugly moans, and it was all like, you so sexy. All of it was sexy. All of it was attractive to her, which then allowed me to be fully, you know what I'm saying, like have that full sexual experience. And so I've had great you know, if we're talking about sex, I've had great intimacy and great sex with men as well. I think men think, you know, when they see me, and I get this a lot under my comments. Well, she must not got good pipe, or nobody must have piped her down good, and et cetera, et cetera. And that ain't the real thing, right? When some of the real thing is whack as fuck. What you mean? Like, it's whack. Like, you might have, you know what I'm saying, something a woman doesn't have, but she's doing more and better with that pipe than you are with your own. You know what I'm saying? And I think that men think that, well, it ain't the real thing. Well, that's okay, because when I've not, like, I've had better without, you know what I'm saying, like with a woman who doesn't have that naturally. She learned how to, you know what I'm saying, she know how to lay that. So it's like, it's not really about whether it's natural or not. It's the feeling, right? It's the climax. It's the experience, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I think that just goes to like just the understanding of like women versus men, right? And like how women have sex with their mind first. Like you got to get that mind right first, and then everything else is not the physical. The physical is easy once the mind is there. Like the mind's good, you're good. Like you know what I'm saying? You can do pretty much whatever you want. But for them, it starts with the physical, and then it's like, then they mind get messed up when the woman not fulfilled. But it's like, you didn't start with her mind. You started with, you know, the physical, but that's how they climax. Like men are physical, so they're you know, the viewpoint to a woman is the same. It's like, but that's not how women work. So it's just kind of that misconception, like that misunderstanding of like, you and I are different. So
and women, and my experience with women is that, you know, and even when I give, right, like, it's I'm doing this and I'm paying attention to you. I'm seeing if you know how you're responding. I'm seeing, like, is this your spot? Is this what you like? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said, it's more energetic, it's more mental, it's more, you know what I'm saying, like the connection is just a little bit, it's a little bit you know, deeper, you know, than just the physical. There's got to be, you know, there's physical aspect to it too, right? I want to be attracted to what I'm looking at, right? I want to be, because that turns me on to then do more, right? But if that element is not completely there and the others are intact, then we can still have a great, you know, experience, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. So
for sure. Take notes, man. You know, we got a few straight listeners, so y'all, you know what I'm saying, hope y'all learned something, you know, y'all can take that back, you know. You got some notes. So we talked about misconceptions. What have been some of your most challenging experiences when it comes to dating, like conversations that you've had to have about being bisexual and making your partner feel comfortable with that?
That's a really great question. So I can remember having a conversation with an ex-boyfriend. Well, both actually. Two. Let's go both ways. You know how I like it. Let's go both ways. Hey, it's the mental, right? So from the male perspective, like, I've had to, in the very beginning, I remember feeling the need to express this to someone that I was getting serious with, that, hey, just FYI, let's have this conversation about my sexuality. I think you should know before we continue to get serious, before we continue to move forward. And, you know, when I discussed had that conversation, he at first seemed like, oh, that's okay, it's all good. You like girls, I like girls too, right? That I hate when niggas say that. Or you like girls, I like girls too.
Right. Like they think that like we about to have a good time. Like that's not what it's giving, bro.
Exactly. No. So I had that conversation, and then what I grew to understand over time is that he really wasn't okay with that. And for a few reasons, from his faith perspective and what he was kind of drawn to, and grew up in, that's what he was rooted in. No matter how of the world he became, or no matter how of the culture or whatever, or what the cool response was to have, what I started to notice is that he felt a way about that. He really did. And he didn't really accept it. He just, for the sake of moving forward with me, he acted as though it was cool, but over time, he grew very insecure and oftentimes almost punished me or almost made me feel less than or feel like, like I was broken, right? Or I was, I needed to be fixed in some way. So that was a tough experience to have, because then you feel like you're doing the right thing by having a conversation with your partner and telling them, like, in the beginning, before we move forward, I want you to know that I'm bisexual and this is what this means to me. I know there's probably misconceptions about it or what you perceive, but this is what it means to me. I want you to know that regardless of who I'm attracted to, I'm always going to be faithful. I'm going to be loyal. I love you. If I love you and you mine, my love is serious, right? Yeah. So having that conversation was important to me to have, but that didn't matter, right? Because it was like, well, not only do I got to worry about men, I got to worry about women that you might be attracted to. And I can't even keep up with the type of people that are attracted to you. So man, this is going to be, it's going to be a problem. So, so that's one side of it. And then the other side of it, obviously having the conversation with the woman was a little bit different in the sense of like, well, she knew that I was, obviously into same sex, right? I was into her, but her questions were a little bit different in that, like, so are you still, so this was the question that we had. I will never forget this time, is we were talking in the bedroom and we were just kind of sitting up, and I was like, she asked me, do you see yourself getting married to a man or a woman? And I was like, that's a great question. And then, but I didn't answer fast enough for her. So she changed the question and she said, would you get married to a woman? And I said, absolutely. And she looked at me like, what? And I was like, why does that surprise you? Right. And she was just like, I just really felt like, you would always go back to marry a man and kind of have that whole picket fence, marry a man, have the kids, picket fence, story. And I said, well, that's not my story. And that's never been my story. I just wanted to be in love. I wanted to have something real. I wanted to be connected to a person and, you know what I'm saying? Then decide to go down a journey together, like whatever that is or whoever that is. I don't know what that looks like, but I would absolutely marry a woman and that be my partner, my best friend, you know what I'm saying? My wife. And so I think that opened up a different world for her. And I think that helped her dive and fall deeper into our relationship, because that, I guess, that reluctancy or that apprehension had gone out the window once I had confirmed, like, and I'm like, wait, would you?
Right. And you like, well, since you asking questions.
Well, if you ask me that, right. You thought this was just a game?
Right. You was playing. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't really, one of the questions I get a lot too is like, do I have a preference in like stud or femme or like, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, like, and I know I might get some some pushback for this. It's like, I want both.
A STEM.
Right, a STEM. I want both, right? Yeah. Because I identify as such. I can have my moments where like I'm very, very just like no makeup, no nothing, no, you know what I'm saying? I can clean up very well, but I'm most comfortable like with my hair tied up, like just like in my sweats, my shorts, my Nike slides, like that's just who I am naturally, just on the athletic side. Like I've always just gravitated towards that, and I can dress up and I can look beautiful, and I take pride in that too. Yeah. And historically, those are the type of women that I have been with, is, people, or just women that can do both pretty much. And it comes out when it needs to, you know what I'm saying? When appropriate in our situation, you know what I'm saying? So people, I get that all the time. And I've been getting it under my comments lately, like, so wait, do you like studs or do you like, and it's crazy because, my type is just someone who is, just confident in themselves and just like, can shut out the world and whatever the world thinks and says, like, we can ignore that. We can do us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can enjoy our lives and outline that the way we want to outline it and walk confidently in that, you know what I'm saying? And so I mean, I like beautiful. I like, you know what I'm saying, fit.
Yeah.
I like, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care, you know what I'm saying, your mental. Like those are the type of things that I'm attracted to. But a lot of I wanted to address that because I've been getting that a lot in my comments. Like, wait.
So we'll take this clip. We're gonna take this clip and pin it to your profile so you can be like
wait,
okay, here you go, right here. Right. Well, you know what? Because I actually I had the same question because you obviously talk about Paige is super transparent, by the way, but you talk about, you know, past relationships with guys, and then like you have like the funny clips about girls. So it's like, wait, but is she joking or like I don't
right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
it kind of, but like your posts about men are very like real, like they're very serious, they're very like contextual, like we can, oh, she was in this situation, but like the clips about the chicks are like funny, like, oh yeah, you're not doing your job, I'll take your girl, kind of like they're like funny, right? So it's like, okay, but like is this funny? Like is this okay,
She
you
was
know,
comical. Yeah.
just gonna follow her and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I guess I shape shift into what I'm feeling or what I'm going through in the era or the chapter of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so what you see, like even on social media, is obviously everything is user controlled. I show you what I want you to see, right? But at the same time, it's like I am this way in real life. Like I am very like mysterious. Like, wait, does she like girls or does she like men?
Right.
Because I seen her with old girl who definitely likes girls.
Definitely likes girls.
And I see her, you know what I'm saying? So I get a lot of that, but I love it though. I love that. I love that.
Because it forces people to talk to you. But I think it forces people to talk to you because I think one of the things about social media that kills me, you know, I'm early 30s, I'm 32. And I think that like I just am a person who likes to have a conversation. Like
me too.
Social media kind of takes away the ability to have a conversation because you know everything. Like if you're, you know, even with, you know, this platform, social media makes it easy for me with this platform because everybody puts everything online. So like, oh yeah, you're queer, you're this, you're that.
You can go look
you
through
could just
all
go,
of their
I could go figure out everything.
Yep.
There's no, but if I can imagine though, if I was like on the market trying to date people, I'd know everything about you before. So I'm coming to the date to confirm stuff. I'm like, yeah, so you already been to Peru, you already been to Costa Rica, you already been like, oh yeah, you had, you know, 2 relationships in the last 3 years. Like I can already tell you, I'm just coming to confirm. It's kind of like that part. I think it just takes away from like the natural ability to get to know people for real, you know, like the way that you talk, the way that you move, the way that you, like if I ask you a certain question, you know, like the way your eyebrow might move, the way like you, like the little, you know what I'm saying, like
the nonverbal cues.
like that is like the intimacy that is missing, because I feel like, you know, I listen to a lot of people talk about dating and trying to make connections, and it's like that's the part that you don't get, but like that's what makes it intimate. Like that's what makes it your thing, is that like we went and got coffee and like I was sitting across from you, like I could smell you, I can like feel your essence, I can see that you was distracted, I can like see that you was preoccupied, like, but you can't get that online, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like so for me, I think that level of like mystery and that level of like keeping, you know, certain things personal, like for us, we have made the decision to just not show our son online. I have a public platform that's growing, and my wife is an attorney. So like there's reasons why, like for us, she's not even really on the platform at all. You know, there's pictures of her, you know, that I'm in a relationship. That's very important because, you know, you just know
representation, baby. Representation. Don't keep me hidden.
Hey, listen, you know, ladies, don't come in here with that. We good on this side. You know what I mean? Just gotta, you know, every now and then you gotta pop it up there. But there's reasons why we keep certain things, you know, offline. And I just feel like you have to preserve some part of you. Like there's some part of you that has to be just left for people who know you for real, you know, like not just through, you know, social media, not just through, oh yeah, you know, I met you once. It's like, no, like my real people like know me, you know, come get to know me. So I'm cool with the mystery. Keep it going. I think it's great.
Yes. I get that a lot. When people like actually have a conversation with me, they're like, man, like I would never have thought this about you. I never knew you were this funny. I never knew you had this much personality, because a big part of my life was very recent part of my life was the opposite. I was very down. I was going through a lot of crazy, a lot of, trauma, a lot of stuff that happened. But now that I'm out of that and over that, I make fun of the things that I've gone through because I can, because I laugh at my pain, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, that mystery is really, like you said, it's what sparks conversations. And when people actually talk to me, they're like, yo, I would have never knew that. Like, I didn't know that. And so I love that. That is what sparks me. Like, I love that. I love that people don't get it all in one flick, one scroll. Right.
I couldn't even, I was like, I always try to figure out what people's voice sounds like what your voice sound like, but you do voiceover. So like, I had to go back. I was like, what does her voice sound like? You know what I mean? Like, I see what she looks like, but like, she might get on here and be like, yo, what's good? Like,
what's good? Let's get it.
I found one. I was like, oh, okay. Makes sense. Like, but yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. But I love it. I love that part of it. I appreciate you sharing that though, because it just keeps me going. I've just recently kind of come into this influx of just like following, and people who follow the reels are going crazy right now. And so like, I've been trying to keep up with it this time, because I do that often. Like, I'll go and have this creative spurt, and because I was going through so much, I'll be like, okay, I'm putting too much online. Take it off, delete, right? I go through these like phases of just like being super transparent and out there and just like showing my character and personality. And then I get like, I feel like, oh, I'm overexposed. Oh, I got to pull it down. I don't want people to know this, right? So I'm in between that space of like creating content that feels good, that's funny, that people connect to. And so like, I'm just on the beginning part of that journey. And so even against the naysayers, shout out to my haters who think that I'm doing too much on the gram. Outside of that, it's like, I'm having fun. Like, I've been down a long time. I've been down a long time. Now it's time to really like emerge from the ashes and like really just have fun with it, because this is not like the only part of my life. I really live a good life, and I don't need to put that on display for people. I don't need to, approve that to anybody. I'm really happy with self. I'm really, I feel joy within. I don't need to feel it from people. But it is added, right? It's added love, right? That I get, that I'm like this influx of like new following and people who are just like, yo, you're funny, or yo, you're beautiful, and oh shoot, you like girls, you're a stud's dream, and you got a kid. I'm like, wait, what? I just saw that on the comment. I'm like, how?
And you got a kid?
Because I already got a kid. Okay, let me find out that there's a list of like criteria for
so like, I could just go in there and be the daddy, and I ain't gotta go. We ain't even gotta have that conversation.
My ex-girlfriend stepped in, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Stepped in and did a thing with my son.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Ain't nobody gonna be playing football with my son. Fuck that.
Right. Ooh, if I had a dime for every time I heard that.
You feel me? But no, I think I love your platform. Keep doing your thing. You're hella funny. Mad cool. Before you go, we're gonna play a quick game of this or that.
Ooh. Okay.
So let's go through these real quick. Okay. Sports bra or underwire bra? Sports. Scores. Laundry or cooking?
Cooking.
Day at the spa or watching sports all day?
Day at the spa.
Short hair or long hair?
Short.
Lipstick or lip gloss?
Lip gloss, maybe.
Hey, my lip gloss is popping. My lip gloss is cool. Sports car or big truck?
Sports car.
Big wedding or small ceremony? To a woman.
Give it. Right. Give it to me big. Give it to me big. People gotta see this, baby. People gonna see this. They gonna remember this.
I know that's right. Stay up late or sleep in?
Stay up late. I'm a night owl.
Iron or re-dry it?
Iron.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
I need some Chris corners.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Pay or have her pay?
Pay.
Pillow princess or I'm on top?
Pillow princess me, baby. I'm too. Listen,
hey.
Get on top. Get on top. Get on
there
top.
You have it, people. There you have it, people. There you have it. B, tell the people where they can find you.
This is so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Instagram at Miss B B. So that is MISSBEEB _ on Instagram, TikTok. I don't have anything else at this point, but Instagram is popping right now. So get on there, follow me, follow the content, follow the wave.
Y'all go follow her, man. Thank you so much, B, for coming
Thank
through.
you.
Y'all go check her out. And y'all already know, man, I'm your host, Ashley. This is another episode of the Queerly Blax Show. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Bye.